Hi. So, ToFaCT, right? Already killed you. If you want to get to ToFaCT, go to the castle, go this way, and go this way, and then go through painting, and go up the ladder. I already tried recording this before, so I'm not going to waste any time, but ToFaCT, one stud extension shadow blocks, so make sure to hug the wall each time you get to one of those jumps. They can also be used like ladders, just like this, and as wraparounds. So make sure to push yourself out of the gap, and then do that jump. There's really nothing much to say about this first floor. It's pretty simple. Except for this jump, you can flick from here and do a one-stick gap jump, which is what I like to do. And then we get to floor 2. So that floor is pretty easy. This floor is a little bit harder, but also not too bad. Kind of do this little uncomfortable section to start here. It's kind of weird, but got some wraparounds. Make sure to wrap around this wall here. Just make sure you look where you're jumping each time. Down here. Slide down. Flick. And yeah, nothing really much to say other than here. Make sure you just jump left so your head hits the top of these blocks. It's just the easiest way to do that. Make sure to jump late there because that jump's kind of scary. And now this jump, make sure you don't go all the way up here, back up a little bit so you can climb the ladder. And, oh, I did not mean to climb that. I don't know how slow I'm here, but anyway. On your left are so-called fade blocks. You won't fall through them, and they extend until they hit something else. So, basically, just goes from this point to this point, goes until it hits something. You just walk straight across. It can also be used like walls, so you can wrap through the center of the 2 walls. Go down to this ladder. Go up here. Go all the way to the end of this, and then jump over here. Wrap around this wall. Watch out for this jump, it's kind of long. So the fade block starts here and ends here. So you can't go here, but anywhere here where there's open space, you can go. It's pretty simple. This ladder, it's pretty easy. Just wrap around this, wrap around this. Look up, and you can see like the maze here. And now this section, so you gotta be careful here. So you can walk all the way down the edge here, but then you have to look at this block and look where it's going. So it's going right about here, so I'm just gonna go ahead here. But yeah, I would just try to just stand here and just face the same face parallel with the block. And then just jump in place and just keep moving forward so you can climb it. If you're really that paranoid about it, or if you head hitter, then you can back up and just jump up. But it's not really that bad. Anyway, you can get up here, go all the way to the end, and jump down here. That section's a little tricky, but it's really not so bad once you know what you're doing. The question mark itself isn't a shadow block, it's just kinda there. That was a misconception I had last time when I was trying to do this, but some thin studs. Just hold W and just turn in once you get down here. Be careful of these two. Be careful in this jump because you have to go right in between, because even though these look like this doesn't look so bad, but you gotta remember that these extend up, so you gotta go right in the middle. Don't try to jump straight from here to over here. Can't make that jump. This jump's a little uncomfortable, but just make sure you stick kind of up against this wall. And you can go here, and then make right to the header. Forgot about that. Nicely done. Let's see if you can keep up with both fade and shadow parts. So now they're gonna start combining the two, and it's gonna get a little messy, but it's okay because it's not so bad. So jump straight over here, and then you got some basic wraparounds. And then we get this kind of slope section. Just make sure you go to the bottom of each slope. And then do the jump. Not so bad. Stay kind of near, kind of like right where like the last like visible one fades away. And you can do your head hitter. Jump onto this fading block, or the shadow block. Up here. And then you can see this wrap around here. Jump up around this wall. Climb this like a ladder, or at least just push forward like you're gonna climb it like a ladder, and just move yourself around the block. Jump up here. Wrap really tightly so you land here, and then I like to just shift and jump at the same time to get around this wall. But you can reposition if you need to. This jump is kind of scary, but go to the right side of the stud, and then just hold left and jump, and then readjust if you need to. I want to go back to the jump, but you have to do a head hitter here, and then wrap in, stick against the wall. But yeah, you might need to readjust, but as long as you get to the right side of this, and just hold left and jump. Like I like to tap W at the end, or hold W at the end, and that just helps me do that part. But yeah, that jump's a little scary. But you can do it in multiple different ways. Like you can wrap out and push forward once you get over to it. There's multiple different ways. It really just depends how you find comfortable. Anyway, a long jump. Wrap around this farther than you think, because it's not that far of a wrap, but just make sure you do get around the wall here. This is going straight up like this, so over to it. Jump up to the shadow blocks. This jumps a little far. Turn forward, and then I like to go into ghost mode, hold D, and then go into first person. That puts you right into the wall. Walk around this hole, and then so you have these little blocks down here that you can just use. You can just go down to them, because but you could also just, I don't know, I like to just do like this little walk around thing here, but you can go down to this section if you really wanted to, if you want to avoid that whole fiasco there. Now, just be careful on these blocks. I like to run off them forward and shift sideways, since they're rotated. But, it's not too bad. Nothing in this tower is really too bad. It's like, what, peak insane. It's, 8.98. Personally, I think it should be extreme, but, that's just my thoughts. But anyway, this wrap section here, just, push up and do a wrap there. And then this section's kind of scary, but just treat them like normal slopes. And then you can walk along the edge. This jump's also pretty scary. Make sure you really angle out and then turn in quickly. Before you start falling, make sure you do start holding W, because it's retracting inward. So if you start falling, holding W is not going to save you very much. So really try to grip it when you're at the peak of your jump. But you got to go farther out, because the wedge might stop you. Wrap around that wall, then just stay here and jump on top of the shadow block. Let's take a small break from those confusing obstacles and enjoy the obby, shall we? So, I'm pretty sure what that means is there's going to be no fading blocks, no shadow blocks, just normal gameplay. So, I do like how the techniques, or the gimmicks, are integrated in this tower, though. I think they're pretty well done, actually. For this jump to this truss, it's pretty scary, but if you grab this thing and then just get downward momentum, makes it a lot less intimidating. Get to the right side of this truss, and then flick, and you won't. And as long as you flick to the right, you won't like hit your head or do something weird here. I won't have to feel uncomfortable. This tower kind of has a lot of stuff in the center and not too much on like the outsides of it, as you can see. Yeah. So be careful when you're near the frame like this, because falling will take you pretty far down. But these wraps, not too bad. Just hold W. Jump late. Do these normal ladders. Make sure to push yourself out of the gap. Climb. And then... So this jump's pretty scary. You have to like wrap around, but you also have to make sure you don't hit this wall. You could just high jump it if you don't want to do this jump, which I would not blame you for, but you really got to make sure that you don't like get like stuck under this or get screwed over by this wall here. It's a scary jump, but it's not too bad. Some long jumps, just don't underestimate them too much. Wedge drop. I like to just stay at the very top here, then shift and hold A, and then tap W at the end to get on top. Big wrap. Truss. Downward momentum. Even though it's kind of far down, so just make sure you plan accordingly. It might be easier in first person if that works better for you. Get on this truss. Make sure you climb all the way up before climbing down. And then wrap out. Climb all the way up. Not all the way into the ceiling, but stay like a little bit farther down, and then just hold D. Walk straight across, then hold space to get through that. Just walk sideways here. Walk around this wall, land down here, and then jump to the ladder. You want to try to hit the middle since whatever this is here. But anyway, in front of you are force field blocks. They have an invisible one stud part around them, which makes their hitbox bigger. Play around with them before moving on. So I actually do like how you can it gives you like an ability to see exactly how far away from it you'll be, and it shows you just how big that one stud out will be. But yeah, basically there's just one stud around the entire block, and that's kind of the whole gimmick. Honestly, it doesn't even look like you're not standing on it from a bird's eye view, but like once you look down, you see that you're not. But it does make wraps kind of like this harder because you gotta really wrap out. Like as you can see, I kind of got stuck on that wrap, even though I did turn out. You just gotta be really careful of that. Go way farther out for this. Try to land on these two studs here. This jump, angle out. Pretty much just exaggerate how far out you need to turn for each. This looks hard, but this is actually a lot easier than it looks, because now you have these platforms extending outward. You could treat them like just how they look, but you gotta remember about these how they're extended out. So you gotta just kind of trust the invisible part so you don't head hit her on the invisible part above it, because I was falling down and also getting stuck on this little part right here. But yeah, you can just flick up to this ladder. Okay, well, you might get shoved off, but oh well. Okay, so I wouldn't do that again. You can flick up there if you're really not comfortable with this, but I like to go back here and then just jump to the slant and then wrap out. I don't like that part. It's kind of scary, but it's not so bad. Anyway, we got a ladder with this gimmick now, which is kind of interesting. And then climb up. And this jump in particular is a little scary. So you got to make sure you really go through the center here. And you can wrap out. And I just jump off this forward, shift sideways. Kind of far jump down. Hold W. Get into here. And then jump up. Ladder. That part's scary. It's because if you fail, you're either going to land at 4 or 3, or even all the way down. This section's pretty scary too. So wrap out around the wall, and then land around here. As you can see, I almost didn't make that. But, land in the center. Land in the center. Land all the way over here. Then we have this. Land close to this wall. Don't treat this like a ladder, because it's not a ladder. Just land here. Oh my god, I got stuck on the wall. Oh my lord. Anyway, wiggle. Down here. Flick. Bro. Okay, I don't know what that was. Okay, so this was messed up. But make sure you go to the top of this platform. Just jump up. I'm kind of dumb. Anyway, so just go to the invisible side of this one. Jump out. Grab far around this wall. Just jump straight down here. So this section looks really confusing, but it's really not so bad. So jump to the half stud. Wrap to the other half stud. And I stink. I am just so bad. What the heck was that? Alright, I really hope that doesn't happen again, but yeah, it's a lot closer than it looks, so just make sure you don't overshoot it. So we got a ladder here. Just make sure you don't get stuck on one of the edges of these two walls. Could be bad. And we got these little stud poles, which aren't too bad. Shouldn't be a big problem. Okay, finally done with that floor. Oh heck, another type of block. Those are called hollow blocks, and they extend 12 stud upward no matter what. So these goes 12 stud upward, but basically, I feel like the rule of thumb here is if there's a hollow block below you, and it's not by like one or two studs, but as I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 studs up, then it's pretty much common sense that you need to go on top of it. And then obviously if you're up to the right level, then you could just jump straight on top of it. That one's like 5 or 6 studs up or something like that, but you still have to jump on top. But yeah, these aren't too bad. I like them because now instead of having to like look around the wall to see what the stud is and then having to wrap around the wall, I can just see where it is at all times. Kind of like that. And just be careful here. Got a little S-wrap. This part's kind of scary, but just wrap around this a few times. Jump up here. Go in between these two walls and land down here. Wrap around the pole. This is a ladder. They show this one specifically just to show you that it doesn't go all the way up. And then go up here. Be careful with that wraparound because this roof gets in your way. Make sure to jump to this and then wiggle in between. Jump over here. This, you could jump around this, but I just like to walk around because even though it's one stud up, I think it's just a lot easier to walk around. Follow the arrow and go to the left. And then just land in between these two walls. Then you can walk under. Do this jump sideways. Got some pretty simple jumps after that. Star Wars either simple jumps or like using the mechanics pretty well. I like this tower a lot actually. Long jump. Go around the wall here. Just jump forward and land right here. And then this is like a 2-stud. This is basically just a 2-stud wraparound with this above it. Just make sure you go out enough so you don't get stuck on this thing right here. But yeah, it's not too bad. Kind of another long jump. This jump's a wiggle. You're not supposed to land up here, but you get extra cool style points if you do. You're actually supposed to land down here. And then go up this ladder, but that's boring. When you can just land up here and feel like a god. Anyway, jump up here. Stay against the wall for these half studs. In this section, just kind of try to land forward, and then one just to climb these bottom ones. And once you get to the ones you can't climb, just try to land them diagonally. And then jump up here. And now we're on floor 8. How about another confusing obstacle? Well, this one won't be as complicated. It's just a generic, non-collidable, and slightly lighter part. So basically just what you've seen before. I don't think I need to explain, but the lighter parts are not collidable. Anyway, so there's only one stud that you can actually stand on here and then jump straight across. It's kind of a long jump, so be careful. Stand in here. Do this wrap on the left. Don't try it on the right. It's not worth it. So don't jump to the block straight from here, because this is a lot farther than it looks, but just go over here, or you can just jump straight from there to here. It doesn't matter. I don't need to be explaining this part that much, because it's really not that deep, but I'm just making sure. Anyway, make sure to flick over the little gap there. This jump's pretty scary, actually, because you gotta go through a non-collidable block, and you have to land in a non-collidable block. But basically, just treat this wrap like normal. It's only 5 studs wide, so just go into first person and just do it as you would normally, even though it's kind of blind. Not so bad. Make sure to get to the very right side before doing jump. This is, so you gotta fall down, and then there is 2 studs of length that you can land on down there. So I just like to just turn sideways and stop moving, and it'll land perfectly fine. Wrap all the way around to the end, jump up, wrap over to these half studs, over here. Just make sure you walk up, not in the way of this little sliver right here, and just jump on top. These jumps are scary. I like to just wrap from back here, and then just land in the center. This one's easier in first person. To just kind of like jump at them, like forward, and then just turn sideways at the last second. Follow this like a zigzag. It's a ladder. And make sure you just look where you're going. Or just know that there's only a platform in the center. And wrap around here and grip the truss. And then go up here. Jump late so you get under this platform, and then head hitter. There are no confusing obstacles on this floor. Use it to perfect your obbying skills. You will need them later on. So that's alluding to floor 10 being the hardest floor, which it is by a long shot, and you'll see why. But just do these jumps. They're not very hard. But yep. This section is kind of weird, but just hold W and D, just walk around. It's pretty easy. Hold D or hold A here and just jump this gap. Make sure that you're all the way at the bottom, like back against the wall, before you jump to the next one, because you do head hitter and it's kind of scary. Anyway, wrap out up here. Alright, be careful here, because you need to go from one truss to the next. I think you could just flick off, just turn. But I'm gonna climb down. I'm just gonna jump off like normal. Like I don't think you need to jump off of it. I think you could just slide onto the next one, but it's kind of risky, so I wouldn't try that if I were you. Hold W against this wall to climb the ladder. Climb. Do some flicks. Slide off the ladder. Walk around. I really have nothing to say for this floor. I can't lie. You don't go that way, actually. You go this way. There we go. We go this way. Now you jump down here. Okay, there we go. I just jump out and then just hold W for that. Because you don't want to get stuck on this. That would kind of suck. This jump looks scary, but it's not. Just stay facing this way the entire time. Just hold W and D. You'll get in. Climb down the middle truss. Just like downward momentum. Hop up these poles. Then realign. So you can climb this like a normal ladder. That jump's kind of scary, but it's not so bad. 10 stud wrap. Normal wrap, and then some final 1 studs up to the final floor. Well done, gamer. Time for final trial. So, this floor is by far the hardest. It uses every single gimmick that's shown in the tower, and has a final outside. And, yeah, by far the hardest floor. But, it's not so bad. Just exaggerate wrap on these jumps. You get the hollow blocks. Only there's like a little side of this that doesn't have a block, so make sure not to land on that. Land in the center. And on the top. Here. You gotta do like a weird like head hitter for this jump. It's pretty much safe, so you should be fine. Shadow blocks, jump down and climb it like a ladder. Just tap W and just jump. Get up here. This part is scary because it's really, you gotta notice that there's an entire wall right here, so you can't jump anywhere here. And the only spot you can jump is like right here. So just make sure you jump here. And then go down to the non-collidable part. Try to like climb each of these. Or at least like land like slightly diagonally. But climbing is better. So you can do this one of 2 ways. You can either drop into climbing and jump off, which is probably recommended, or you can just walk sideways and then turn forwards to face the ladder. Whatever you find easier. Alright, and then careful of this jump. Make sure you go around the wall. Go on top. This jump's pretty scary. I like to jump towards it in first person and then just turn sideways. This part's really weird. So you have to don't go too far down. Just turn and climb this like normal. So you can flick here. It's good. But this wall does extend out by 1, so this is going to be like kind of a tight squeeze, but these trusses make it so it like shows you kind of like where and when you need to turn, which is pretty cool actually. I really like how this works. And then jump off. Pretty cool. Do this wrap on either side, but just be careful. It's a bit thicker than the one that was on like floor 4 or something. I think it's kind of like a similar jump down there. This ladder thing is really weird. I just like to flick up to the top, look around. So this ends here, so you need to jump to this one. So make sure you jump there. Be careful here because there's a wall here. It goes straight down, so anything in this range is no-go. So around. Jump sideways up to here, and this jump's scary, but just make sure you land and then just go up. Exaggerate the wrap around there. Slide all the way down. I've fallen on this part all the way to the bottom several times when I was trying to beat this for the first time. This tower is very hard to learn, this floor was very, this tower's not hard to learn, but it was very hard for me the first time I beat it. But anyway, this jump's pretty scary, but just do that, and then for the next one you can just walk. Makes that a whole lot easier. I like to wrap from the bottom. Makes that a lot nicer. And you gotta get through this hole here. So you can either like hold jump and then like push yourself through the gap, either forward or backwards, it doesn't matter. Anyway, once you get to here, it's just walk around and land the platform around. Saturate the wrap. Can you stand? It actually doesn't matter. Just jump straight from there to here. I don't know if you can stand on the... I'm pretty sure you can. Well, yeah, okay. It's the same width all the way around, so you can. Jump here. Got like a 3-stud wrap. And then go into this dropper. And now we're on the outside. So, welcome to the final stretch. So, this outside... it looks intimidating. It's really not that bad. So remember that these extend out a little bit. It's a long jump though, still, so just be careful of that. Do the same strategy as jumping off forward. Just kind of like jump in place just to get an idea of how early you hit the ceiling here. And then you can wrap out for this one. So you only have to do one head hitter jump here. That's not too bad. Wrap down, do a head hitter, go to this 1-stud. Just be careful with this part. Just try to like do like a head hitter here. Just kind of try not to move the camera too much. Wrap out onto the hollow block. And go to the truss. Try to like stay on like the kind of, you don't want to be more on this side than on this side, but try to be on the corner for the most part, nonetheless. Just jump off. Try to aim like close to this part so you know where you're landing, or you can have a better idea of where the platform actually is. Then just face forward, walk, and you can just jump at the end if you want to get off it as soon as possible. Up here. Big wrap. This thing, you have like no room to stand on this thing. Stand here, shift and jump, and land there. So really only focus on these two corners. Around. You can just head hitter your way through here. Slide down, walk onto the ladder. Or jump, it doesn't really matter. I like to walk though. This jump is scary, so you gotta like push in, but keep in mind that there's a pole in the center here, which makes it very hard to see because you'll never really get outside of the non-collidable brick. But head hitter from like the middle here, that should be able to get you up. Go to the stud, go here, left, jump up, wrap. Again, flick, and we get to the final part where so you can push yourself out by 1 stud here, which makes this wrap a lot less intimidating. And land on that thin stud there. Go to the center here. It says, "What will you do if there's no visible path to victory?" So that's just walk up here to the higher part of this, and then jump and climb here. And now you get this 9-stud wrap with this. This is constantly slanting down, so it's a little bit easier than a normal 9-stud wrap. Just do the wrap, and then just try to land and jump immediately to get onto this net. And then once you get here, you basically beat it, unless you disconnect. That would suck. So don't do that, but keep going around. around here, and then get one final head hitter, and you're done. Yeah, so I didn't really like that tower at first, but I actually really like and can really appreciate it now for what it is. Like, I don't know, I find it really fun, and I think it's a really great tower, to be honest, and I definitely think you should do it if you want to get better at your wrapping skills, and stickouts, and all this, and just general raw skill, all the sort. So yeah, that's it.